John Risley, head of Clearwater Seafoods, is convinced bottom trawling does no damage in Canadian waters where his vessels fish.
There is zero scientific evidence, not one shred of scientific evidence, that these fisheries do any damage to the bottom environment whatsoever.
In fact, a recent United Nations environmental report confirms trawling is harmful to certain ocean habitats. The report notes dozens of spots, mostly coral reefs, where damage has been documented, including coral grounds off Nova Scotia. Scientists at the Department of Fisheries and Oceans did their own research on bottom trawling. And their conclusion? Bottom trawling is harmful to certain types of ocean bottom.
The West Coast
Dr. Jake Rice is a senior scientist with the Department of Fisheries and Oceans.
The latest science on the effects of bottom trawling tells us that it can be detrimental to habitats, communities, and species on the seafloor, but it depends on the history of the area, the type of habitat, and the type of species that are there.
Scientists agree that trawling over muddy bottom or thick gravel is relatively harmless. In Nova Scotia, sensitive underwater habitats, including deep coral reefs, are now closed to fishing. The draggers face strict rules for quota, mesh size, and enforcement. Still, many fishermen are convinced the draggers are taking too many fish.
Dr. Rice, on the wharves of Atlantic Canada, the fishermen will tell you that bottom trawling, or dragging as they call it, is simply wrong. They believe they have seen evidence that it is destroying the ocean bottom and fish habitat and wrecking the fishery.
Fishermen are smart. They know marine ecosystems very well. I would show them the evidence that the net productivity of the system is not diminished by these trawls. I'd show them the policies and the size of the footprint of these trawl fisheries and show that whatever effect these trawls are having, it's not the cause of the failure of cod to recover, the other problems we're facing in these fisheries right now.
The department, it seems, has work to do to convince some fishermen that draggers have a place in the fishery.
You cleaned it out in less than 50 years, or 50 years. Now we got more technology, bigger boats, bigger gear, more technology. It's not going to take them that long to take the rest of it. The rest of it's going to be gone.
When we come back, environmentalists say their loss at the UN threatens the world's seamounts. When it came to the final debate at the United Nations, the proposal to ban bottom trawling failed. At the end, Canada was willing to compromise and accept a moratorium. But Iceland blocked a consensus. Instead, fishing nations promised to monitor trawlers and keep them off sensitive seamounts. It's a defeat for environmentalists.
I think it's a loss for the oceans, it's a loss for Canadians, it's a loss for the planet, because we're going to see more dragging out there and more consequences.
In Ottawa, Fisheries Minister Loyola Hearn thinks regulating fishing on seamounts will work.
Doesn't this leave the worst offenders to monitor themselves?
It does. Well, two things.
That's an unsatisfactory situation, isn't it?
Well, it depends. Because the thing is, there is always an element of trust. If you have, and we'll take 100 countries, if you have 95 or 98 of these countries trying to sustain a stock, trying to preserve habitat, trying to enhance what we have so that there'll be a future, are they going to sit back and let you do what you want? And the answer to that is no.
Environmentalists say they will continue to fight. They are determined to keep trawlers off seamounts before the damage is irreversible.
Is there time?
To save all of the world's seamounts? No. To save enough of them that ocean life will continue in a relatively healthy state, I think we can still manage it. But if we don't do anything at all, then we will end up with a badly damaged planet.